Hello, my name is Anuska and welcome to my channel. Now, on this week's video, I'm talking all about volume and specifically what you can do if you think you speak too loud. Now, this is really interesting for me because most people I work with are at the other end of the spectrum, and they actually come to me because they want to sound louder, more powerful, and more authoritative. But whichever end of the spectrum you feel you're on, varying your volume is so important if you want to be the most expressive, engaging, effective speaker. Because if we live in one space in the voice, volume-wise or pitch-wise or anything else-wise, it does get boring after a while if you're listening to someone. So varying your volume is such an important skill, and you can train yourself, you can learn how to do this. But first of all, we have to become aware of where we are. And often people that are very loud don't realize how loud their voices are until someone tells them, shh, you're quieting down, you're too loud. So I'm going to take you through an exercise in a second about how you can sort of start to bring awareness to your voice and the volume that you're speaking at, because I think this is the first stage in making any changes. So if you are someone that is more at the other end of the spectrum and you would like to sound louder, I've actually done a video on that and I will put the link below. So first of all, we want to gauge our voice where we are right now. And as with everything that I suggest in my videos and when I work privately with people, you want to record yourself, because what you hear in your head is not what anyone else hears. So you may find that you're louder than you thought, or maybe you're quieter than you thought. So if you record it, you're going to get the best possible gauge of your voice. And what we're going to do is look at the 7 stages of volume. Now we're going to incrementally increase the volume on your voice. So imagine you're like turning a dial. And this is then going to give you a really, really good idea of where you're at and where your sort of weak spots are, where you struggle with the volume. I'm going to demonstrate in my voice and then you can have a go at this. So take a really, really simple sentence, or you could even count from like 1 to 5 or whatever you like, but keep it kind of short and simple so that you can focus on the volume versus focus on what you're saying. So for the purposes of this exercise, I'm just going to say my name. My name is Anuska, and I'm going to go through each stage. So the first stage is mouthing. So no whispering. Mouthing is the first stage. So the second stage is whispering. And we want to try and avoid any kind of throat tension as we do this. So, my name is Anuska. Stage number 3 is quiet voice. My name is Anuska. Stage number 4 is normal kind of conversational voice. My name is Anuska. Stage 5 is heightened voice. So this could be you're talking to a group of people in front of you. My name is Anuska. Stage 6, loud voice. So this could be, for example, you're calling to people in another room or trying to get your voice to the back of a room. My name is Anuska. And then finally, number 7 is yelling. My name is Anuska. So have a go at this exercise because it's really enlightening for people. Notice what comes up for you. Notice what you find difficult. Notice if you get stuck at a certain volume. Are you able to increase the volume in your voice? Do you find it hard to speak quietly? Or, do you get to a certain level in your voice and then you can't get any louder? So just notice what comes up for you. And also notice, were you louder or quieter than you thought in your normal conversational speech? So this is all about building awareness, because ultimately we're not going to go around yelling, we're not going to go around whispering, but we want to have those tools in our toolkit so we can access a yelling voice, we can access a whispering voice, we can access a quiet voice, a heightened voice. These are tools we can use if we choose. So it's all about choice. Everything is about, I can choose how I use my voice versus I just have to let my voice do what it's on its default mode to do. So now it's about reducing the volume. So Maybe your voice is louder than you thought, maybe it's not as loud as you thought, but now we're going to do an exercise to reduce that volume, if nothing else, so that you are starting to take control of your voice and actually have a choice. So this is going to be a little bit weird. I'm going to stick with "my name is Anuska" as my sort of example sentence, just to keep it really simple. So what you're going to do first of all is say your sentence again. So in my case, "my name is Anuska," in your normal voice, whatever your normal voice is, your day-to-day voice. Then what I'd like you to do is put your hands in front of your ears and say the same sentence now with the hands there. "My name is Anuska," and then put your hands behind your ears and cup them. "My name is Anuska." Now you're going to notice it sounds different. So we're boosting and damping different frequencies in the voice. It's the same output, but we're hearing different things. Now, when we're trying to learn to reduce the volume in our voice, we want to match that damping sound, hands in front of the ears, to hands behind the ears and no hands. So it all sounds the same. Now, try not to get breathy or airy when you do this to reduce the volume. Keep that intensity in the voice, just focus on volume. So imagining that you're playing around with that dial. So start with your hands in front of your ears, and this time, just to sort of change it up a bit, we're just going to count from 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then put your hands behind your ears, and you want to match this volume to the other volume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you may find this quite challenging, so play around with this, but keep it really, really simple. Simple sentence, counting 1 to 5, like something you don't have to think too much about, but spend as long as you need on this. So the idea is that all of those volumes sound the same. So we're matching it to the dampened frequencies in the voice. And then when you feel like you've mastered that, you can then practice just saying your sentence again without putting your hands in front or behind your ears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see if you can maintain that volume without needing to do the hands first. And again, you do have to practice. I think this is probably one of the things that many people really struggle with. There isn't a magic pill with the voice. I can't give you a quick exercise and everything changes. It really is consistency, repetition, and a willingness to put the time in. But my goodness, you will be rewarded. And it never has to be long, it just has to be consistent. So if you commit to 5 minutes a day, you will notice changes in your voice. But there isn't any quick fixes if you want things to last and for there to be profound changes. Then finally, once you've mastered that, then you can start to play around with varying the volume. So we're going to start quiet, we're going to get loud, and then we're going to get quiet again. And then you can actually reverse this, start loud, get quiet, go back to loud again. So we're going to stick with the counting from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So see if you can practice varying that volume so that you then start to feel like you have control over that volume versus the volume controls you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And see if you can really play around with varying that volume. So I hope that's helped. So first of all, just to reiterate, it's gauging your voice where you are, record it, notice what comes up for you, notice what you find difficult, what you find easy, then play around with matching that dampened sound with the boosted sound, and then finally the kind of normal sound. And then you can start to play around with deliberately increasing volume, reducing volume, but keep it really, really simple. And as I say, a few minutes each day is all you need to do. So finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why people speak loud. Someone commented on one of my videos that large families are loud families, which I thought was a really interesting comment. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that briefly, because in my work, our voice is not random. It's really a product of our conditioning, it's a product of our upbringing, in every sense, but as we're talking about volume today, loudness, quietness, all of that is all part of what we've been conditioned. So which the good news is it means we can change it, but it does mean we have to do some deeper work to understand what is holding that in place. So from my perspective, just because we grew up in a large family does not necessarily mean we're going to have a loud voice. It may do, but it may not. It is actually more to do with our perception of that situation growing up. What did we feel we needed to do in that family to get our needs met? So it may be that if everyone is speaking loudly around you, everyone's talking over each other, everyone's shouting, you may be like, well, if I can't beat them, join them, and I'm just going to be loud too. And then you see this all the time. People are just talking over each other and loud, and no one's actually listening to anyone. So that is absolutely a path that you may go down. And this is where my Jungian psychology work that I bring into my private coaching comes in, because it's more about what's the persona that I adopted to fit in my family dynamic that was going to help me get my needs met, help me get noticed, help me get fed, watered, clothed, whatever. What did I need to do with my voice, because our voice is a really critical communication tool, to help me survive. So conversely, you could have grown up in a loud family with people talking loudly, big personalities, but actually you found there was power in being quiet. Because if everyone is loud and you're sitting there quietly, you may find that you get more attention. Or it could have been more of a learned helplessness. You kind of gave up trying to compete and you just thought, I can't do this anymore, I'm just going to be quiet. So it really, really depends on what your associations are. It's going to look different for different people, but it is really important to understand this, so you can certainly explore this with yourself and ask yourself some questions. A good place to start is, what voices really trigger me in terms of volume? So do you get triggered more by loud voices or quiet voices? Do you find it annoying when someone's really quiet and you have to like really listen to them? Or do you find it really annoying when someone's really loud and just talks over everyone? So that is going to be pointing to your persona, and more importantly, pointing to your shadow and what you've rejected in yourself. So in my work, it's all about integration. It's all about becoming whole and allowing all these parts of ourselves in, so that we're then free to be loud, to be quiet, to be whatever we want to be in a specific situation. So I hope that's helped. I just think it's such a fascinating topic, but I don't think there is a one size fits all. Big family, loud voice isn't necessarily always going to be the case. So if you have any questions, comments, and if you like the video, please do like it, share it, subscribe. If you have any videos you'd like me to do in the future, please also comment below. But until then, I will see you on my next video.